Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here is your weekly market report. We hope you had a good Memorial weekend. Last weekend we got back to normal here this week with sales Monday and Tuesday. We had a good run of cattle, kind of caught up a little bit from last week, I guess. 1,300 head Monday, which was a really good run for this time of year, and close to 1,000 on Tuesday. And I think the dry weather has a lot to do with these cattle coming to town. I've talked to several people that just said, man, they're just out of grass, these dry conditions, and people are getting rain in spots and places, and your neighbor's getting rain, but you can't buy one. So it all depends on where you are, and at any rate, it's a good thing the prices are at the level they are, because if you do have to sell something, they're bringing good money. So that's the one good side of it, because it could be dry conditions in a bad cow market, but that's not the case. These prices are holding up really good. We had a lot of good slaughter cows and bulls here this week, and prices were fully steady. Seems to me that meat sold pretty good last week. Memorial Day meat moved. I think the shelves were a little bit bare, and those packers are buying up more supply. And they bought those cattle here Monday and hauled them out, and they were gone Monday night. Tuesday morning we get here, and I think almost all those cows were gone out of here by Tuesday morning. And then we had another good run of cows Tuesday, and those cattle were hauled out of here pretty darn quick too. So that shows you that they're needing supply, and that's why these prices are holding up real good. So cows and bulls were steady. There were a couple on the report this week, two pretty good classes of cows. On the boner cows, there were 49 head called on the average of the price range. These cows were weighing average weight of 1126 with a price range of 125 to 133. For an average price of $129.50. Now on the high end of that weight range, well, a little bit heavier, these cows weighing 1249, and the price range on them was 134 to 144 with an average weighted price of 138. So that's a good sample of the market right there. Darn near 100 head of cows bringing that kind of money. That shows you prices are really good. And on the calf side, we had some good quality calves, and in the 4-weight range from 4 to 450 with an average net average weight of 435. That price range was $280 to $3 with an average price of $284. That's on a 435 pound number 1 steer calf. And from 450 to 5, average weight of 479. The price range was from 275 to 285. That's on a 479 average weighted calf, number 1 steer, with an average price of 277. Not too shabby for South Florida. Heifers are still dragging behind the steers a pretty good bit. We had a good run of 3-weight heifers, not too many in the 4-weight range. But from 3 to 350, those heifers were bringing from 310 to 330 with an average price of 322. That's on a 315 pound heifer. And on the 350 to 4, the average weight was 366 with a price range of 310 to 327, basically the same as the 315 pound class. And those calves, those number 1 heifers, they brought $320 a pound for an average price. So you can see that they're lagging behind the steers, all still probably 40 or 50 cents on those lighter weight calves. And the discount on the heifers, the heavier you get, 4 to 5 to 6 weight calves, the heifer discount to steers is less, but more on the lighter calves. But prices held up good, and we're just happy to give you a good report on that. Kind of on the national level, what's going on, I hate to bring it up even, but the bird flu is still kind of out there, and maybe not as high up on the press priority chart, but you still hear about it. And you know, they found they've been testing meat, they've been testing cows. They're trying to get a hold of this and get ahead of this. They did find some residue of this bird flu in the meat, but nobody knows if it was the killed virus or fragments of it. It did never enter the food supply chain, and again, you know, if it's cooked properly, it's not a problem. So I mean, it's kind of business as usual. Nothing has changed. No detrimental, negative things going on. Anything different than what's been happening in the last 2 or 3 weeks. They're just still trying to test these cows and get these dairies under control with this bird flu. And that's kind of where disease traceability comes in. And, you know, thank goodness for what we have in place here with these dairy cows are all tagged. That's under the USDA tagging rule, animal disease traceability. All dairy animals, regardless of sex, age, size, if they're dairy animals, they are required to have an individual ID, and they're able to trace these cows and find out where they are, where they came from, and get ahead of the game. So everything's in place to find these problems, and that's a good thing, that it shows that this system is working the way it is. And with that said, USDA has by November coming out with a new, not a new rule really, movement of cattle for disease traceability is still the same. The only thing that's changing with this new USDA tagging rule is the tag itself. You guys all remember the little old metal tags that we used to use when we vaccinated our heifers, and get away, fly. So, you know, the little metal tags are doing away with them, because this is now the new age where we have these electronic IDs, and that is the new form of the what's going to be required for cattle that are adult age animals to cross over state lines. That's interstate movement. Will be required to have these new button EID tags that have a flat tag with a number that's visible to read. So let's don't get too upset about it and too concerned about it. You're going to hear a lot of things from a lot of people. You'll find people that don't want to do it, that think, well, it's the best thing that we need to do. So you'll hear all this stuff. But as far as you moving your cattle from your facility, from your farm to our livestock market or any livestock market, you can do that. Nothing's changed. Okay. The one thing that Florida does have that very, very few states now have is a state tagging rule, and this has kind of been one of the things that we put in place. I think it was 12 years ago that Florida needed to have a tagging rule because they were scared that USDA would come out with some rule that we wouldn't be able to live with. So we've had this state tagging rule. If you buy cattle from a market and you want to take them back to your ranch, that you're going to have to put a tag in these cows' ears, and paperwork's going to have to be filled out and sent in to the state and all, which is kind of mundane. It's kind of doing the same thing twice with the new USDA tagging, EID tags and all. We think it's just kind of duplicated work, extra effort, and it's not really affecting a very high percentage of cattle that are moving from markets back to the ranch. And so that's just a rule that we're trying to repeal, that we won't have to worry about that anymore. We won't have to, you can come buy cows here at the market or any market in Florida, buy the cows, take them home, do whatever you want to do. But if you try to take that cow and move it from Florida to another state, then that's when you start talking about having to have the EID in place in the cow's ear before you can move her across the state line. So it's just very simple. Don't make it complicated. Don't be, don't let it bother you that much. If there's anything out there that we're finding out, we try to stay abreast of the latest news on that line, on that level, and whatever we find out, we're going to pass it on to you. If you have any questions, please call us. That's what we're here for. You bring your cattle to the market, we sell your cattle, we give you a check, we charge you a commission for that. That's included. You know, if we can help you in any way with information or service, that's what we're here for. So we'll keep you posted about all that. We've got the Florida Cattlemen's Convention coming up in Marco. A lot of this stuff will be talked about there. That's in June. And whatever the latest information is that we find out from those meetings down in Marco Island, we'll sure pass that along. And the Florida Cattlemen's Association is staying up on this stuff too, and they'll sure let you know what's going on. So we all need to work together, and we'll just stay informed, and that's the best way to be. So that's your market report, and we do have some high prices this week. On the calf side, we had a little 300 pound steer calf that brought $4.65. That calf was brought in here by Jack Williams from Vero Beach. That calf was bought by Oak Lake. And on the slaughter cow side, Garrett Rooks from right here in Okeechobee topped the cow market with a 1,115 pound cow that brought $1.60. That cow was bought by Cargill. I'd like to give a happy birthday shout out to my youngest granddaughter, West Rose Clemens, who turns 5 today. That's your market report. Thank you.